We are recording. A very warm welcome. It's 21st of February already, isn't it? Yeah, 21st. It's so weird how time goes so fast. It absolutely flies, doesn't it? Love and light to who said that? Elizabeth, yeah, love and light, everybody. It's a great expression, isn't it? I do like that. What is this? My son, I'm at my studio in the country house today. Did you see the video I posted? The lake has completely filled up with the winter rains now. It's absolutely beautiful. And that'll turn turquoise green in a few weeks. I think I'm going to take this off. It's too damn hot. Oh, get rid of that. Yeah, that's better. So, guys, I've got a lot of videos I haven't used because I haven't been on for two shows. So we're going to go through all of those. And there's a lot going on. Prince Andrew arrested. Did you see that? Naughty Prince Andrew, eh? Naughty, naughty Prince Andrew gets arrested on his 66th birthday for fear of a flight risk, apparently. They said they nicked him, picked him up because they were a little concerned he might just do a midnight flit and disappear. Well, good for you guys. Whoever signed that arrest warrant, it's about time that these people are being held responsible for their misdeeds and dirty deeds. And I'm going to try not to rock this thing all over the place because without the support, it does get. Look at this on my hand. Can you see that bruise? I have no idea how I got that. I was looking at it the other day and I just said, look, what is that? I thought it was oil off a car. I think I burst a blood vessel because it is a bit sensitive, but it just looks dirty, doesn't it? Can you see? What is that dirty, horrible mark? So there's nothing on that one. Anyway, um, have you asked Corey? No, I won't ask Corey because I'll just Google it. I don't like to bother Corey. She's in that surgery all day. She's always completely stressed out. Well, I'm not stressed out, but she works very hard, Corey. Very hard. I'm still using this plastic teeth insert. So if I'm starting to pronounce some S's strangely, you know why. It's because um I know what I'm going to do the video. It's because I can't get the S's properly. It makes me pronounce things a bit strangely. So I've got to wait another week before I get something sorted with that. Right, where are we going to go first? And let me prep some videos for us while we're just entertaining each other. Um, duh, 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 duh. Yes, I'm recording now. I'm just going to get rid of this message. All good. What's this now? Hmm. All right, we don't need that. Where am I going to go? Well, what's been going on? If you got anything you want to share, please get it on there. Post it. Let's share it because I'm happy to post anything of interest you might want to share, you feel as a warrant and interesting share for people. And I'm going to go back up to where we were. Where did we start? I think we started, yeah, around about here. Let's have a look. I've got house guests today, so there might be a bit of a noisy background. They're all playing cards out there. Do, 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 do. Come on. It's a bit slow. Let me just check on the it's doing some. There we go. I like this one. It's about an Irish ancestry. So we'll start things off. Right, 1 second, guys. I'm going to automatically just change over the Wi-Fi, so it might go weird for a second or two. Everybody good? Was that a smooth transition? Give me a little yes or a thumbs up in the text comments there. You can hear me. I know that you can hear me. Yes, all right. Yeah, now I'm on a stronger Wi-Fi. Right, we begin. I bloodline. It's a very interesting thing because the Vikings settled in Ireland. So my bloodline, father's Irish, English mother from the north of England, and the looks I have, I'm 6'2", blonde, blue eyes, doesn't fit in with English people. Nobody thinks I'm English. When they meet me, they think, I look, German or Swedish, I get a lot, and maybe Dutch as well. But I came across this as an interesting share because if you're an Irish American, you're going to like this. because it's interesting.
Your ancestors survived something most people didn't, and it's written in your DNA. Between 1845 and 1852, Ireland's population dropped by 25%. 1 million dead from famine. Another million fled on coffin ships. But your ancestors, they survived. They survived starvation when food was shipped out while people died. They survived disease, typhus, cholera, dysentery. They survived coffin ships where 30% died before reaching land. And when they arrived in America, they survived no Irish need apply. They were called savages, denied jobs, denied housing. But they didn't disappear. They built railroads, dug canals, fought in wars. They didn't just survive, they built America. Your Irish bloodline wasn't just passed down, it was forged in fire. Every generation faced something that should have ended them, and every generation refused to die. Famine, exile, discrimination, war. Your ancestors walked through all of it, and you're here because they wouldn't quit. That's your blood. Drop your Irish surname below. Follow for more Irish pride. Tag someone who carries the bloodline. If you have Irish...
Interesting that, isn't it? Because when you go to Ireland, and I've got a trip coming up, I was supposed to be there on the 1st of February, but I couldn't make it. I got stuck in the UK. I've got an interesting story to tell you as well. Um, Everywhere you go in Ireland, you'll see little ruins. And there's all these little places and farmhouses that used to have families on there. But in the famine, and this is what they're talking about, all these people left. 3 million people left Ireland. So if you do have Irish background, the chances of survival of them are really slim. So it is an interesting background. They're very determined and stubborn, the Irish. And I can see a lot of that in me. And my son has the same thing as well. Even if he says, no, I don't need your help, I'll do it myself, he'll do it. And that's something I'm very true about me. I just never give up. When people have said, nah, you're not going to do that, you can't do that, Mahoney. It doesn't matter. If I want to do it, I'll just get it done. And I know it's caused a lot of problems in not so much for me, but it really pisses people off that they say, no, it's impossible, you can't do that. And when you do it, exactly like where I am now in my life, I've moved through so many different gateways, from starting off from, just doing the whole film thing, into the interviews with Greg Hallett and all the King. He turned on me. He's been saying terrible things like, he says I'm an agent working for the Israeli government, right? Ridiculous, madness, just total off the cuff. It's not even worth talking about it because it's so imbecilic, is what I would say, which is a shame because I like the guy. Um, and now where we're at, when they're on the precipice of this huge emotional and evolution change when it comes to the spiritual things, it's such a strange journey. And half of that I would put down to just never giving up and just not having, I have no fear. This is it. I have absolutely no fear. I mean, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to run across the main motorway or walk a high bridge with no safety equipment on, but I'm not frightened of ridicule or people saying, oh, you're ridiculous. In fact, a good friend of mine told me that, oh, a lot of people are laughing at my dating advice. I'm like, dating advice? What dating advice? Do you mean the words of wisdom, where I'm giving you advice about running and ruling over your head rather than your emotions and your heart, and giving into the darkness that most people is that what you call dating and advice? And then I said, well, who's saying that? Show me the person that can say that, who's successful in the relationship that they have, and then I'll listen to them. But people saying, oh, what do you know about dating? One girl, 3 different kids with 3 different fathers, none of them are with her. She struggles because none of the fathers pay her any money. Is she the one that's passing out her distaste at my so-called dating advice? If you'd followed my advice, you wouldn't have been in that situation in the first place. Your children are beautiful. That's not the point I'm saying. The point is your choice was the wrong choice, but you continue to make the same mistakes. And people do that all the time. They continue always making the same mistakes because they won't admit when they're wrong. They won't say, that was wrong, I need to change it. And that's the biggest problem. We kind of veered off track here. I wanted to share a story with you. Last time I was in England, I mentioned that I went to a born-again Christian church. My good friend is a born-again Christian, and I go to church with him because I like to watch people. I'm a big people observer, sit there and stand there and watch people, and I'll interact. And there was a young kid came in, he's probably about 28, 32, something like that. And as he came in, everybody was kind of making a big deal about him. They were getting him into the group and all sort of praying around him. And I said, what's the story with that kid? Because my job that day was meeting and greeting. I had to say hello to people as they're coming in the door. A lot of elderly, hold the door open, help them up the ramp, this kind of stuff, saying good morning. And yeah, that's what the local church wanted me to do for my position. So I said, yeah, that's fine. I'll shake hands with a lot of people and get to know people. So there we did. And anyway, this kid came in and I stood there and I remember looking at him and in this position, studying him. And I asked my friend, what's the story with him? So he's new, he's come from a troubled background. I said, there's a darkness hanging off him. He's got an attachment. And he said, well, what do you mean? I says, I can feel it and sense it, that there's a dark demonic attachment attached to him. Has he come from a drug background or an abusive family? We don't know. He wasn't dressed badly, but he just had that energy off him. And I stood back and I didn't shake hands with him. I stood there and watched him. And as I moved around, I noticed that he'd catch me from the corner of his eye and he'd move around a little bit more and change position. Anyway, that was 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I had a call this weekend that his mother found him in the garage. He'd hung himself, committed suicide. Now, suicide is not the work of God. This is where the devil whispers into your ear and he convinces you that it's time to go. Yeah, shit. I was quite shocked. But what was more shocking is the people that I told that he had a darkness attached to him. And I didn't want to say exactly what I knew. I could feel what it was. I just said, there is a darkness with him. He has an attachment. Was he into drugs? Has he come from that background? Was he in an abusive father or uncle or something as a kid? Because you don't just get up in the morning and go and hang yourself when you're in a comfortable home. It's literally, guys, it's a demon talking to you to do it. They'll convince you it's a good idea. It's time to go. They'll make false promises and give you false hope about what's coming on the other side. But it's so sad. It's so sad. He was a young kid and he just went into the garage and hung himself and the mother found him. And that's the worst thing, isn't it? Imagine being a mother finding one of your children hung. I couldn't imagine how that feels or how you even begin to get over something like that. But next time my intuition is like that, I am going to act upon it. It's not really up to me to act upon it, but looking back, what I should have done was probably gone over there and made a known presence to this kid and see what would have happened. But he was avoiding me. He avoided me. And I often find that happens with people that do have an attachment. They do not like me. They will avoid me, move away from me. They won't even talk to me. They'll scream at me often. They'll shout at me just to get away from me, even cause arguments and fights just to get away from me. I've seen it in several relationships when the demon raises its face, when there's something comes up and it's being confronted and they know that they're about to be caught out. They'll cause a fight so they have to get out of there. It's quite a common thing. I don't know if anybody else has experienced it, and I've talked about it before anyway. They tend to run. They're avoidant and a runner. People with attachment. So if you're in a relationship and something comes up and you need to discuss something that's awkward and uncomfortable, and if they begin to throw it back at you saying it's your fault, why do you have to bring it up and say, I can't stand this, I'm not going to stay here and be spoken to like this, I'm leaving, because they know they're about to be confronted. And especially if you're calm and looking back saying, I just want to talk to you, I just want to understand, I'm just asking you some questions. Well, I'm not in the mood to talk, so they'll get out of there. Runner and an avoidant, and it's because they have a dark attachment. Sometimes you can get rid of it. It just needs to be done in a certain specific way. Anyway, we'll move on. That was just something I thought I'd share with you. Where are we going to go next? Let me and let me have a little look at the next video, because all these videos now that I've been grabbing are all spiritual and very interesting. Volumes up. Let's go back. Share this one.
You is already here, and even more goodness is on the way. You are constantly being guided, protected, and blessed. Trust that something greater is always looking out for you. Affirm, yes. What's meant for you is already here, and even more goodness is on the way. You are constantly being guided, protected, and blessed. Trust that something greater is always looking out for you. Affirm, yes, what's meant for you is already here, and even more goodness is on the way. You are constantly being guided, protected, and blessed. Trust that something greater is always looking out for you. Affirm, yes, what's meant for you is already.
What's meant for you is already going to be there. This is one of my favorites because I've noticed this happen in my life a hell of a lot. It doesn't really matter what direction you're going to. You'll always be guided back en route. You know, you can wander off the right path for a little bit, but you'll always be guided back to where you're supposed to be. So if you decide, well, if you feel like you're on the wrong path in life with your spiritual decisions, just take a moment to get your bearings and say, well, that didn't work out the way I was hoping, did it? That didn't happen the way I wanted it to. And just trust that you'll be guided back to where you're supposed to be and the way that you're supposed to be, meaning the path that you're supposed to be walking on. Because the spirit will often put people in your path for a reason. And then he'll take them out of your life as well for a reason. Take them out of your way for a reason. So you got to just let go of the steering wheel in most of these cases and just say, okay, you know what? I'm willing to just let the control go in your hands and just see where the current takes me, see where this current of life is going to bring me next. And I've had some amazing experiences because of that. Not getting stressed out and not thinking, oh my God, my flight's being diverted. What am I going to do in Albuquerque? Um, that was a great trip. And once that happened to me in Albuquerque, he ended up going to see all of these, I think it was Hopi Indian ruins. And then I went all the way down to Roswell, had a look in the Alien Museum, and I had a really great trip. So you've got to trust that where you're supposed to be, you're going to be. And you might get distracted or delayed, but just breathe. Don't let it get to you. Don't let it bother you. You will end up where you're supposed to be. And it's all about watching the signals and signs along the way. Okay, is this person, it's significant? Is it important, this person that I meet and talk to today? Or is it just a ship in the night as two vessels crossing their paths together? It's an interesting concept. If once you understand it and accept it, you can get to really enjoy some unforeseen circumstances. What's this one like? Why did I save this? Okay, let's have a little look. We'll share this one.
Would say the devil does
Ah,
not make life harder for people who are already his. It helped me understand why sometimes bad people thrive and good people suffer. Once I heard someone say the devil
it's true. You know, the devil doesn't chase people that he's not interested in because the easy ones are easy. There's no challenge in that. You know, you got a person who's got low self-esteem, low intelligence, nothing much going on in his life. That's no challenge for the devil to turn to his side, is it? But if you got someone, excuse me, who's got a bright, shining light in them, that's charismatic and magnetic, these are the people the devil wants to turn because these are the creations of God. And he's always jealous of what God did. And he was created in his image as well, the fallen one. So yeah, being having someone not interested in turning you, it's a bit like you go to a bar and nobody's interested in trying to pick you up, or nobody's interested in talking because you just don't look very interesting. It's the same with him. If you're not a challenge to the devil, he is not trying to turn you. He's not trying to get you on his team. He's not trying to get you on his side. He won't be sending people in or situations to tempt you. He'll leave you alone because you have no interest. So if you find yourself put in these situations with constant or often, it's because he can see the light shining off you and because he wants you on his team. And it's a case that happens a lot. You'll see that people often get strange situations of temptation put in their path. You know, they'll get offers and deals put before them and beautiful people put in front of them. But again, I'm very fortunate. I can see straight through all this. You know, beautiful people to me are not beautiful because I can see straight through them. I can look at them, and say, yeah, no, I see it. Or they'll say one thing, or I'll see the way they look at something or talk about something and say, okay, that's where the weakness is. Their lust for power or lust for money or luxury items. You know, I'm often suspicious of women that have very expensive handbags and shoes and draped in labels. Why, and men as well, big watches. Nothing wrong with having a watch, but it's just everything else that goes with it. If you're a 20, 30, $40,000 watch and you're still living at home with your mom, something's wrong. Where are we going to go next? Let's have a little look. I'm clearing up as we move along as well. Uh-huh. This woman is beginning by saying, I just read. What did she just read? Let's have a look.
My brain chemistry forever. It said, forgive yourself for not knowing earlier what only time could teach. Oh, I just read something that probably altered my brain chemistry forever. It said, forgive yourself for not knowing earlier what only time could teach.
So true. And this also ties into God puts people in your life for a reason. This is the teaching. This is the lesson. He'll put people in there to challenge you. There's a word that you might hear around a lot in the spiritual circles. It's called trigger. Trigger anger, to trigger jealousy, to trigger betrayal, to trigger any sort of emotional response is for you to educate yourself, to be brought up to speed with what that means. So you can't be angry at yourself for getting into a situation that's going to teach you how to deal with it better in the future. We all have these people that enter into our lives for one reason or the other. What about the person that you could what do they call the one that got away? Is I was listening to that song that came on earlier. Is it by Katy Perry? In the high school in the 80s, she meets a guy. They were zooming around in his Mustang, and when they turned 18, they got matching tattoos. But she talks about the one that got away. Is it really the one that got away, though? You just kind of romanticize about it, and you tend to think about the good times with somebody if it's a breakup situation and not the bad. I tend to remember all of it. But I'm like you, I lean more towards the good things and just giggle off the rest of it. But it's the same old. People are put in your life to teach you a lesson. And if the lesson lasts 15 years, 10 years, 10 minutes, it's all about that lesson, especially with relationships, because they've got even more complicated now because there's so much role reversal going on out there. Women now would much prefer to do a career, and this is what's been happening a lot in women. You can track the statistics. It's not just me saying this now. Traditionally, women used to get married early, and they would be homemakers, and there would be mothers, and the father, the husband, would be in charge of finances. He'd go to work, they'd have vacation time and holidays together, and that was the traditional roles. But now, in the last 20 or 30 years, in my opinion, they've been trying to force this traditional strong, that's a really strong family unit, that setup, two kids, wife, mother, dog, parents, grandparents, all looking after the kids when they need to be, all living pretty close to each other, so they're always around as a family unit, very strong unit. Usually mom and dad would help their kids out with a first time payment on a house, because they've been saving all their life and now they're on pensions to help the kids get on the ladder. But what's happening these days is women are working right up until in the mid 40s. They sacrifice all those young years. So, no, I want to focus on my career. I'm not going to do this. They have multiple partners in these years and never get married, never have children. By the time they want to have children, like about 45, realizing the mistakes they've made, it's very difficult because biologically it's trickier to achieve that. And then a man at 45, he's just getting into his career because he's been building his castles all the way along since he's in his 20s, into his 30s, into his 40s, into his 50s. A man in his 50s doesn't really want to get involved with a woman who's 45 and has all this baggage and problems all along her life. He'd rather take someone around 30 and just have less problems, that's someone that makes that motherly decision that wants to have kids at 30 and build together not just rebuild or patch up. And men these days now are being educated this, and they're saying, you know what, I just want peace. I don't want to have to deal with a woman that's had all of these issues and relationship traumas all of her life now and is bringing that to the table. And it's all coming out. I'm being blamed for her mistakes before. And these are statistics. You can hear people, many podcasters talking about it. It doesn't affect me because I already had my children early. But it does affect me in the way that I prefer peace. Because a lot of people say, why you not have a relationship, Mahoney? I say, simple. I prefer peace and quiet. I want stability and I want peace. I do not want to have to be fighting with someone about, why I'm going off for a couple of weeks to Jordan or why I have to do this and all that pressure. I'm probably not explaining it as best as I can, but this is the thing. The traditional family unit has been deliberately changed and morphed into something that's just dysfunctional. Men are not getting married, women are not getting married, they're not having kids. We're being outbred by Islam because they're forced into these arranged marriage, and then when they're in the 20s, they're having 6, 7, 8 children. And I'm not exaggerating. Christians are not having the same amount of kids. So it really needs a whole reset about what's important. This whole career. There's nothing wrong with a woman having a career, but is it really more important having a career than your kids and family? I don't know how many women I've met in the 45 range that are just like, oh, wait, I made a massive mistake. I wish I'd had kids now. That's all I want is kids. And they're going to end up with a guy who's already got his kids, who doesn't want to raise theirs. And it's a tricky situation. And they've deliberately morphed it like that instead of being how we used to be in the 40s and 50s and early 60s. It started to change in the 70s, really, I think. So, where are we going to go next? Your discernment is good, divine protection too. I'm just reading some of the comments. Right, let me get another video up. And by the way, I'm still hopeful. I haven't given up. I'm just one of these people I'm not prepared to settle, just so that'll do. I'm quite happy and peaceful. I have my family situation is done. I'm financially stable. I'm enjoying my work, what I'm doing. I'm very healthy. Yesterday, I had another test about my metabolic age. I'm slacked a little bit because I haven't been doing some of my medicines, my supplements, but I'm now got a metabolic age of 40. It was 38, so I know where I have to go next. What's this? It's entitled, oh, it hasn't come up. Reload page. Did it come up? No, that one's gone. That does happen. They take things down. Let's see what this one says. This one looks like it's going to work. So let me get it up for you. Share.
What if the person who hurt you the most was also the person God used to wake you up? What if the betrayal, the manipulation, the confusion wasn't sent to destroy you, but to develop you? It sounds crazy, but sometimes God doesn't send comfort first. He sends clarity, and sometimes that clarity comes through a narcissist. Let's be real. When you first met them, it felt special, intense, almost divine. They studied you, admired you, mirrored your dreams, but slowly, things changed. You started questioning yourself, walking on eggshells, over-explaining, over-giving, over-loving. And somehow, it was never enough. Here's the spiritual truth nobody talks about. Narcissists don't just test your patience. They expose your lack of boundaries. They don't just challenge your heart. They reveal where you've been tolerating what God never approved. Some of you thought you were being loving, but you were actually abandoning yourself. Some of you thought you were being patient, but you were ignoring red flags. God showed you early on. Discernment isn't just about seeing evil in others. It's about recognizing when your spirit feels uneasy and trusting it. God will allow certain people in your life, not to break your worth, but to force you to discover it. Because before this, you may have believed, if I love harder, they'll change. If I stay loyal, they'll appreciate me. If I shrink myself, there will be peace. But the lesson? You cannot heal someone by hurting yourself. And the moment you start choosing yourself, and the moment you say, I deserve respect, the moment you stop explaining your value to someone committed to misunderstanding you, that's when the shift happens. Narcissists often leave when they can't control you anymore, when your boundaries become stronger than their manipulation, when your silence becomes louder than your arguments, and it feels like loss. But it's protection. God will remove people who are assignments, not destinies. The pain taught you discernment. The confusion taught you to listen to your intuition. The betrayal taught you that access to you is a privilege, not a right. And now, you don't ignore red flags, you don't chase closure, you don't beg for consistency, you observe, you pray, you move wisely. That's growth. If this message hit you, it's not by accident. Drop the word worth in the comments if you're choosing yourself this season. Share this with someone who needs confirmation that their pain had a purpose. And follow this page for more truth that protects your peace and strengthens your spirit. Because healing isn't weakness. Discernment isn't bitterness. And walking away isn't failure. It's alignment.
Well, I didn't actually deliberately choose that, but it fits in with everything else that we were saying there. So that wasn't just dropped in there for a reason, but is there any such thing as coincidence? And it's probably meant for younger people and most of the audience that we share our time with. But some of the information in that is good information. Basically, watch for red flags, guys. It doesn't matter what age, you could have family members, nephews, nieces, all showing signs of red flags. This word narcissist, I think, is overdone as well. There are people out there that are like that, and I've met quite a few in my time. But there's also a lot of people that have narcissistic tendencies. They've got traits towards it. It's all about me. It's what they want to do and what's good for me. They pretend to be empathetic, but they're not. And when they get confronted, they don't like it. So I'm not going to put up with that anymore. Boundaries. It's very important to set boundaries for yourself. Extremely important. It's something I've struggled with personally for a long time, but and then what they do is they make you feel bad by setting it, saying, if you say that again, I'm walking out the door and you will not see me again. That's it. And I've done that, saying, right, there's no more discussion. I'm not the man that raises his voice. I just leave. That's it. I'm going to tell you what I think is going on, and that if you don't like it, okay, then I'll either you leave or I leave. But there's no point in one of us staying here discussing it further. It's not like I run away. I'm like, okay, it's my place, and I'm just going to put TV on and have a glass of wine or something and enjoy my night. I'm not going to waste time on idiots. It's something that we learned during COVID, isn't it? Trying to convince an idiot that this is all a lie. It's just wasting your time. And that's the way a lot of things are in your life about relationships. You're going to waste your time talking to idiots and trying to get them to understand how things should be. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Remember that expression. This is about manifesting. Now, manifesting is something, the next video, by the way. Manifesting is something that comes up a lot. People ask me about it. Do you manifest? Do I say, well, not really. Things happen to me because I need them to happen. But manifestation is something that often people mix up with I need to manifest a lot of money, or I need to manifest a new boyfriend, new girlfriend, new car, new house. But do you really, really need a new car? What's wrong with your one? Well, it keeps breaking down. I can't get to work. Okay, then you need to at least get the problems fixed. But do you really need a lot of money? Do you need to be a multimillionaire? You don't need a private jet. People often use the word need. I need a Coca-Cola. I hear this a lot on flights. I need a Fanta. I need a Coca-Cola. You don't need it. It's not life and death. You'd like one because it's refreshing and that's your favorite drink, obviously, but it's not life or death, is it? And manifesting for me is pretty much the same thing, because manifesting is something that you need to help you with your life mission. There are certain things that I need to help with my life mission. And actually, having knowledge and access to the Akashic records was something I've been looking for quite a while. And now I've been initiated into that. And I know exactly how to get in there and check things out when I need to check things out and check the past, but you can also have a little look into the future. It's kind of hard to explain it. Yeah, I don't drink Coca-Cola. Jess is saying Coca-Cola is Satan's urine. I don't drink it either. Water or beer or wine, that's really all I'll drink. Who's texting me now? Is this one of you guys? Let's have a look. Do I need to do that? Okay. Where am I going to go next now? We are going to play this manifestation one, aren't we? Now that I've been talking about it so long. Here we go.
You know why most people never manifest what they want? Because they're waiting, as if the universe owes them something just for wanting it. But the universe doesn't respond to waiting. It responds to movement. You see, manifestation is a dance, and it takes two to tango. The moment you begin, the universe begins with you, not before. You are the catalyst, the initiator, the one who must step into the unknown first. No one is coming to save you, because you were never meant to be saved. You were meant to awaken. So make the move, and watch how reality bends to meet your stride. You know why most people never manifest?
That's exactly true. They don't know what they're doing. They're manifesting the wrong things. You're going about it in the wrong way. You don't need it. It's really, you need to connect into source there and figure out what you really need, not what you really want. That's it. And the difference is you might want something, but do you really need it? What you need is more information. What you need is the right people around you to achieve your life mission. What you need is that right person standing beside you who's going to hold your hand on the dark days and encourage you to keep going. This is what you need. And there is a difference. What are you taking to lower your metabolic age? I'm taking basically everything. NMM, NAD, glutathione. I take everything I make. I take everything. Apart, I don't take the prostate. I don't do the digestive enzymes. I don't do the parasite course on a daily basis. But every other pill, like the magnesium we've got, it's got zinc in there. And also Shilajit. It's a great supplement, great supplement. My stuff really works, guys. You know, 80% of people that buy it buy again. You can feel the difference. So I'm going to be doing, I think I'm doing a Facebook Live on there. Am I doing that this week or next week? What's this now? Here's a good video about Jesus. What's he saying? Why do good people suffer? You ever wondered that, you know? You see bad guys always doing very well. Why is that drug dealer well? Why is that murderer well? Because the universe doesn't work like that. You can have, you know, they say what goes around comes around. This is karma. But the universe doesn't identify the actions that somebody's doing necessarily as bad. It's about the energy that, okay, here's an easier way to explain it. If you believe what you're doing is good, the universe believes you. If you believe what you're doing is bad, the universe is bad, and you will get karma and punishment. But for a lot of people, I'm providing a service. People want methamphetamines. People want fentanyl, so I'm going to provide it for them. I'm doing people a service. They love me. And it's a different energy. This kind of explains a little bit of that, this next video. Have a little listen to it and you'll see.
Why do good people suffer while evil people prosper? It's the question that shakes faith more than anything else. And the Bible doesn't shy away from it. Let me give you the truth that might be hard to hear. Reason number 1, suffering refines your faith. Gold is refined by fire. So is faith. Your suffering isn't pointless. It's purifying you. God isn't punishing you. He's preparing you. Reason number 2, suffering reveals what you truly believe. When everything is going well, faith is easy. But when the storm hits, you discover what's actually in your heart. Job lost everything. His health, his wealth, his children. But Job 13:15 says, "Though he slay me, yet will I hope in him." That's tested faith. God allows suffering to prove that your trust in him is deeper than your circumstances. Reason number 3, we live in a fallen world. Sin broke this world. Disease, death, and disaster entered because of the fall. God doesn't cause every suffering, but he permits it because free will and a broken world have consequences. Suffering is guaranteed, but so is victory through Christ. He doesn't remove the valley. He walks through it with you. And on the other side, you'll look back and see his hand in every step. Type, "God is with me" in the comments. Share this with someone who's suffering and needs hope. Why do good people?
Interesting that, isn't it? Why do good people, why do bad people as well, all get on with their lives? And he does see everything though. What I do believe is that people do get what they deserve, ultimately. It might take 5 years, it might take 10 years, and they get it in different ways. I've seen it in my life. People that have crossed me and done things bad about me, to me, either their actions or the words or thoughts, even intentions, it always bounces back on them. You can either act like a mirror where it gets bounced back at them, or you can absorb it and transmute the energy and get stronger yourself by using their energy. So it's nice having that faith and saying, well, I don't care what happens, who's coming at me. In business all the time, it happens to me all the time. People, jealousy and making false reports and government agencies coming after me. And I just end up smiling. I don't lose any sleep over it. I usually end up being victorious, either in my own particular way of doing things or just kicking back and relax and let the universe sort it out. It doesn't matter even if it takes 5 years. They always get it in the end. So, where are we going to go next? Let's have a little look. What's down the line? Here. 3 things. Kind of like this one. It's short and sweet. The 3 things reveal who people truly are. Now, this is an interesting concept because recently, last year, it was a question I asked myself. I said, show me something I started using. Show me who this person really is, God or spirit, or so I know, so I can make decisions. So show me who this person really is. And I was shown through situations I would never have foreseen. I'm like, oh my God, and I'd forgotten that I'd asked to see it. You say, show me who this person really is. Let's give you an example. Okay, let's see how they are when they've got 3 or 4 glasses of wine in them. Don't show me who this person is. But then you see them outside fighting a whole team of policemen. That didn't happen. I'm just giving you an example. It's an example of extreme situations where I've asked to show me who this person really is. Who am I getting involved with here? Who is this person that wants to do business? I need to see who they really are. Are they genuine? And I was shown who several people really are. 2 in specific I spoke about. It was over 6 months, 9 months ago, something like that. And I was shocked when I was shown who they really were. But talk about dodging a bullet. I really did, because as much as it was painful moving through that, it was really, once I got through the pain stage, my life is just so much better without them in it. It sounds so bad, that, doesn't it? It's like, yeah, and both very, very close to me, like intimate details, personal details, known them for many, many years. And now they're gone. I'm like, I feel just a liberation, like a vacuum has been closed or a leak has been plugged. It was good to do it, but it was a painful experience to go through. Let me show you 3 things people who truly will reveal.
Reveal who people truly are. First, how they treat people who can do nothing for them. Second, how they act when they don't get what they want. And third, what they do when no one is watching. 3 things. Reveal.
Now, the first first one's not really applicable to me, but the other two are what they do when no one is watching is really prevalent, and what they do when they don't get what they want. Oh my God, I've seen people lose their shit when that, they come and ask for me to do something and say, no, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry, I can't do that. It doesn't sit well with me. And they're like, what are you talking about? It's going to be all right. Why are you so worried? And then what they do when you're not with them and you hear stories, you come back from a trip and you hear a story like, you never guess what happened. And then you hear this, what? That surely that can't be true. What's this I found? Hair wax. Yeah, a friend of mine had a anger issue, and every time I come back and hear about him getting involved in some fracas in a bar, and I'd be like, it's embarrassing. People were asking me about him because we were involved in business together. I was like, I'm not putting up with that. There's the boundary. So let me move on, see if we can get another couple of videos squeezed in here tonight for you. What's this now? It says Greek myths. This is about the Arctic migration. This is kind of cool. We'll slightly change the subject, but it's educational and interesting.
It's the land of the gods, Hyperborea, in the Arctic. Ancient maps show land there. If the climate was different before the tilt, the Arctic was a temperate zone and a land bridge between continents. The gods used this northern route to move between Asia, Europe, and America, establishing a circumpolar civilization. Greek myths place the land of the gods, Hyperborea, in the Arctic. Ancient maps show land there. If the climate was different before the tilt, the Arctic was a temperate zone and a land bridge between continents. The gods used this northern route to move between Asia, Europe, and America, establishing a circumpolar civilization. Greek myths place the land of the gods, Hyperborea, in the Arctic. Ancient maps show land there. If the climate was different before the tilt, the Arctic was a temperate zone and a land bridge between continents. The gods used this northern route to move between Asia, Europe, and America, establishing a circumpolar civilization. Greek myths place the land of the gods, Hyperborea, in the Arctic. Ancient maps show land there. If the climate was different...
Sorry guys, has this played already? Because I just stepped away to get some water. Has that already been played? Have you already heard this? Was it on repeat? Yep, sorry guys, I just stepped out to get some water. This plastic tooth plate I've got, it just makes my mouth so dry. All right, no worries, we'll move on. But that's interesting. It kind of explains it why they're trying to cover up what's going on down in Antarctica. If there is artifacts there from ancient civilizations that have been covered because it used to be a temperate zone, nice and warm and cozy, then it would certainly explain a lot of strange phenomena and reports that are coming out. From there. Maria says, when are you going to get your tooth fixed? Well, it's not as easy as that. I cracked a real tooth, so they have to put an implant in, and it's going to take months for the bone to be ready for it. But I'm looking at a different solution now. I had a good idea, so I'm going to get something else rather than this plastic thing. I mean, it looks good on camera. You would never see it, would you? You'd never notice that. Those look good, not dentures, Julianne. Dentures. No, can't get a crown because the whole root was pulled out. If it was just a cracked tooth, they can put one over it, but I need to have a whole tooth put in. But I've had worse. Don't worry about it. We'll get through it. Where are we going now? Let's have a look at this. Nobody wants you. This is entitled. I don't know what this is now. Choosing self-respect and inner peace often means losing access to certain people. Yeah. This is about boundaries again. This is why I put this one on there tonight. Have a listen.
Respect costs access. When you choose peace, some people lose their seat in your life. Not out of anger, out of clarity. No speeches, no closure scenes. Just distance, growth, and a future that finally feels lighter. Nobody warns you that self-respect costs access. When you choose peace, some people lose their seat in your life. Not out of anger, out of clarity. No speeches, No closure scenes, just distance, growth, and a future that finally feels lighter. Nobody warns you that self-respect.
Again, boundaries, guys, so important. Once you put boundaries in place, there is a bit of teething, no pun intended, to go through there. But once people get used to it, you'll be surprised. You get a lot less phone calls, you got a lot less problems, a lot less begging, and I need this favor and that favor, and money, and can I borrow a car? Once you set the boundaries, people really understand it, you know. Oh, I'm just going to come around for a couple of weeks in August and stay at your place. That's the thing that happens in Spain here. You know, people always want to come and visit you the height of the holiday seasons because they don't want to pay for a hotel. They say, "Oh, I'm only coming for 2 weeks, 3 weeks with my entire family, Mahoney." It used to happen in the old days, but you know, I had a lot more patience in the old days. Plus, there's usually my peace is way more important now. So I say I can't do it. You can have a few nights until you get something else. But unfortunately, I need the space because I'm recording. Here's an interesting one about Lucifer. You know, and by the way, I'm not trying to make him sound an interesting character, but there's a lot of mistruths about him. Have a listen. Why is it not doing that now? The weird thing is when you push play, there's no volume.
The truth might shock you. You've probably heard the names Lucifer and Satan used interchangeably, but did you know they are not the same? Let's uncover the truth about these two figures. Lucifer was originally a magnificent angel of light, created by God to reflect his glory. His name means bearer of light, or morning star, a symbol of beauty, wisdom, and splendor. Lucifer was pure, wise, and full of grace, made to serve and worship God in the highest. But something tragic happened. Lucifer allowed pride and ambition to take over his heart. In a moment of rebellion, he sought to rise above God and rejected his place in God's plan. At that very moment, his once glorious nature became corrupted, and he ceased to be the angel of light. Lucifer was transformed into Satan, the accuser, a being filled with deception, pride, and a desire to destroy. Satan, now the angel of darkness, became the enemy of God and all of humanity, seeking to lead others astray. But here's the shocking truth. Satan still disguises himself as an angel of light. He uses deception to mislead and confuse, appearing as something good while leading people into destruction. If you understand the difference between Lucifer and Satan, and you want to spread the truth, comment Amen and share this video to help others understand who Satan truly is.
Interesting, because people think it's one person, two different people. They don't remember the transition, do they? So I'm not going to end on that one because it's a bit dark. So let me find another video. What's this one? Ah, this is what I like. 10 signs that you're being protected by a higher power. This is a really good one because let's see how many of these you can actually identify with.
Protected by a higher power. Sometimes protection doesn't look miraculous. It looks subtle, strategic, and silent. Here are 10 signs a higher power is guarding you without asking for credit. 1. People disappear from your life suddenly. Not a loss, a removal. 2. You survive things that should have broken you. Your strength wasn't accidental. 3. Your intuition becomes louder. Warnings feel like they're coming from somewhere beyond you. 4. Doors close violently. Rejection wasn't punishment. It was protection. 5. You feel calm in situations that once terrified you. A higher hand steadies you. 6. Your circle gets smaller, but your peace grows. 7. You lose desire for things that would have destroyed you. 8. You're pulled away from environments full of hidden danger. 9. You notice patterns, timing that feels too precise to be random. 10 signs you're being protected by a higher
It nearly looped. It nearly looped. But how many of those can you identify with? I definitely identify with at least 6 or 7 of those that people have been brought in my life, in and out of my life for reasons. It's interesting, that one. Um, that's about it, guys. We're going to start wrapping it up. I've got some house guests. I've got some food in the oven, so I'm going to go and entertain. And tomorrow I'm going to have a nice, easy day. I'm going to take a nice long stroll by that beautiful lake. If you don't know the lake I'm talking about, then go and have a look on Well, it's actually on all my social media. I've posted it. It's a beautiful one. My apologies again for being late on the. I always meant, whenever I have a problem, a tech problem, say, right, well, tomorrow I'll do this and I'll get in there and I'll record what I was supposed to record today, but I never do. I never find the time. I've got another really interesting appointment on Monday for my continuing work with Akashic Records. Mahoney 15 is the coupon code. I'll make sure that works. I'm going to text my tech guy now. Mahoney 15, go to healthworldforyou.com. Yeah. It's actually better on Health World for You, Julianne, because you get better deals on there. Mahoney supplements is the same. So go to healthworldforyou.com, Mahoney 15, because the Mahoney supplements, it's a different team. It's a different team. What was I going to say? I was talking about something. Oh yeah, on Monday I have an appointment at 1 o'clock in the afternoon for another 2 hour session for access to the Akashic record database and how to understand it and access it better as well. I had a couple of weeks off because the last one I did was so exhausting. I did 3 or 4 intensive sessions within a few days. So I've had a couple of weeks off, but I'm going back to do some more studying with a different person. So I'll let you know how that goes on Tuesday. Dr. Corey's in on Tuesday. We're talking about gut health, stomach health, which is something I deal with a lot of people that are asking me about IBS, Crohn's, colitis. We have several products, which is very good for gut health, by the way. Our digestive enzymes, if you take those for 3 months, they are absolutely fantastic. The people that we've got rid of their issues by using digestive enzymes. Takes 3 months. It's not an overnight thing, but IBS gone, irritable bowel system gone. So the products all work very well, and people copy them. People steal my labels and copy them and put out cheap junk. It's a constant battle trying to take down other people's websites because they copy my products. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go. I wish you all an amazing weekend, whatever you're doing, wherever you are in the world. Fill it full of love, fill it full of light, and fill it full of great memories. So we'll be back on Tuesday. And yeah, I'm looking forward to having a catch up with Corey. Her work is great. And I'll see you all next week. And like I say, stay fit, stay strong, keep pushing back, and keep the light on from here. Keep that light burning for everybody to see. See you soon, guys.